a little blurry. Yesterday was the Erin Fall Fair, and we took this Toyota Camry there. This is my leftovers from Beaton. It did pretty good. I had some problems. The heat went pretty good. You know what? I'm not one person to complain about the demolition derbies here in Ontario, but this year's got me super upset. I passed tech, and then they came over and re-teched me, and then they came over and re-teched me again. I was the only person I think that got re-teched 3 times, passed all 3 times. And just what's starting to bother me is some of the payouts. Like, I went to Brampton this year, $65 to run each class. So $65 per person. There's 11 cars in the ring. So that is $650 in entry fees. And the total prize money was only $600. $400 for first, $200 for second, nothing for third, no trophy for third, nothing. This derby right here yesterday had 22 minis at $50 an entry. Total prize money was $400 for first, $150 for second, $50 for third. That means these fair boards are pocketing so much money off of us, and we're the ones putting on the shows. Not only that, those stands are full. And you know what? There's a lot of drivers here in Ontario that are starting to realize that you have to pay the drivers. We show up, we put the time in, we build the cars, we buy the cars, we pay the entry fee. It is getting ridiculous, and it's really starting to bother me here in Ontario how much money is being stolen from the drivers. I didn't win this event, so I didn't take home any money. And I'm not worried about that, but my problem is the people that did win that event should have taken home more money. Like, there was 77 drivers at the event, and there was only $2,500 total in prize money. That's it. $2,500 total in prize money. There was $3,500 just in driver entries. So that kind of bothered me a bit. Okay, now let's go on about this car. I got a spindle snapped. That's all that happened to this. I did have some small electrical issues up here. I had one wire come off the computer and I didn't have time to put it back together, and whatever. It happens. We're going to be trying some new things with spindles here in the future. We have some big ideas coming up because it seems to be getting to be a bigger and bigger problem with me is these spindles. Between Meltdown and here in Ontario, I think I've gone through about 9 spindles this year. But there's nothing I can do about that, guys. You make one part of a car tougher and it just starts breaking other places. With us having the steel behind the struts, they start allowing spindles to snap. Back into the car, I need to stop using it. It's not doing so good back here. It all opened back up and everything. I don't really know. Kind of depressing looking at it, but there's not a whole lot we can do. So what we're going to do today is we're going to jack it up. We're going to put a new spindle on it. Guys, you've seen me swap spindles 100 times. We both know how easy it's going to be to swap this spindle. And put the axle back in. Hopefully I didn't lose any little cups. And then drive this thing off and park it for the winter, because we have to store it now. And this is a good car. It'd be a shame just to get rid of it. But they wanted my bumper cut because they said it held past the tires. I said, this has already ran one of your guys' shows and it passed. Well, cut down your bumper. I said, I'm not cutting the bumper. So then they were upset about that at tech. And then I have 4 repair plates. I have photos of all the bends previously. So then I did that. And then they came over with a welding rod and stuck it through all the holes in the frame. Guys, I don't understand why the tech had to come back to me 3 times. I don't get that. And then they told me I needed a fire extinguisher the first time, so I said I have this one. Is this a good enough fire extinguisher? It's loose now, but and then the second time they came back, they told me I needed a fire extinguisher. I said it's right there, but there's nothing I can do about it. It just, you know, it's starting to bother me. I feel like people are being taken advantage of, and if I'm the one that's going to stand up for it, it's going to hurt my channel. It's going to hurt me. It's going to make me look like an asshole on the internet. But guys, we go to these. How much time would I rather spend doing other things, like building my school bus from an RV? You guys still haven't seen the school bus. I work 60 hours a week. I still come home and put 40 hours a week minimum into cars in this backyard. Like, derby drivers, we give up so much to be able to put the show on. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it should be about the fun. But realistically, I spend $20,000 a year on derbies. By the time I factor in my fuel and eating and hotels and cars, I'm at least 20 grand a year in this. And I get you can do it much cheaper, but like there's guys out there that spend more than me. But guys, I'm getting fed up with this here in Ontario. When I go down to New York and I go down to Pennsylvania, I feel like the promoters actually want me there. Here in Ontario, I don't feel that anymore. I don't feel like I'm even welcomed at these derbies. To get into the derby in Erin, it took me 45 minutes from the road to the actual gate, which is less than 500 meters. Took me 40 minutes minimum. Then once I got in, because there was nobody directing anybody for parking, you couldn't get your cars even to the stage. When they want us to line up into the horse corral, I said to them, how do you want us to get in there? And they said, we'll just drive in. I said, the gate is blocked by a truck. And I was told by the promoters just to figure it out. Like, this is not my job. You guys are being paid to put on the show. Like, you should figure it out. And then it bothered me. It really did. The car did great. I just wasn't really in the right headspace in that ring, to be honest. I really didn't care. I tried something new with a booster box. Didn't really pan out too well. But I don't feel like I was in my zone in this derby. And I think you guys can tell from the in-car cam and how my driving was. I'm not even happy with how my driving was. I feel like I was driving quite shittily, actually. But nothing I can do, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry about everything. But I tried, and I'm just not happy with how things are going here in Ontario. If you guys are having similar feelings of your promoters, why don't you leave some comments down below on what promoters are pissing you off, or even some fair boards that are pissing you off, because the promoter was blaming the fair board's blaming the promoter, and it's just a huge who's going to be the scapegoat yesterday, and it bothered me. And there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Absolutely nothing. They say you can email the fair board. It won't do jack shit, guys. The only way that we can do it is just stop going to these shows, but then you hurt the sport by not going to the shows. So you hurt the sport by complaining, you hurt the sport by doing a protest, you hurt the sport by speaking your opinion. It's just kind of shit. But leave a comment down below, guys, on companies or events that have made you upset, and give a reason why. I don't care if it's anything from payouts or to rules that they changed at the show. Like this year here, I've came across a show that doesn't say anything in the rules that I can't have seatbelts and an X pattern in the back seats. Like, what do you think that's going to do, guys? But I couldn't do that. That had to be changed. I had them come up to me and tell me I couldn't run an external temp sensor. Like, show me the rule. They said that there is no rule. I said, well, then you can't enforce it. You really can't. But the promoters are making up rules, and they're changing the rules, and they're changing the payouts, and they're saying they give, like, even another show here I went to in Ontario said they're handing out $10,000 in prize money. I did the math. It was only $8,000. They're just trying to rip everybody off any way they can, but I think that's anything these days. Sorry about my rant here, guys. It's just feeling down about everything, and not much I can frickin' do about it. It's pretty much it, right? But thanks for watching, guys. This is why I'm starting to hate the sport some days. Take care. We'll see you back here later on Zach's Workshop.